Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel Healthy by Nature. I'm excited to dive into one of the most important topics we'll ever discuss: how the food you eat today can literally add years to your life. We're talking about nutrition for longevity, the science-backed eating strategies that can help you not just live longer, but live better. Now, I know what you're thinking. Here comes another diet video promising miracle results, but this isn't about the latest fad or quick fixes. What we're covering today is based on decades of research from blue zones, clinical studies, and cutting-edge longevity science. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which foods to prioritize, which ones to limit, and how to structure your eating for maximum health span. And stick around, because I'm going to share some surprising foods that many people think are healthy but might actually be working against your longevity goals. Let's start with the big picture. When researchers study the world's longest living populations, places like Okinawa, Japan, Sardinia, Italy, and Loma Linda, California, they find some remarkable patterns in how these people eat. First, these populations eat predominantly whole, unprocessed foods. We're talking about foods that look pretty much the same as they did when they came from the ground or the tree. Second, they practice some form of caloric restriction, not starvation, but eating just enough to feel satisfied without overeating. But here's what's really interesting. It's not just about what they eat, but also when and how much they eat. The science behind this is fascinating. When we slightly restrict calories while maintaining proper nutrition, we activate what scientists call longevity pathways, cellular mechanisms that help repair damage, reduce inflammation, and protect against age diseases. Now, let's break down the specific foods that should form the foundation of a longevity-focused diet. First up, leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables. Think spinach, kale, arugula, broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. These vegetables are absolutely packed with compounds that support longevity. They're rich in folate, which supports DNA repair, and they contain powerful antioxidants like vitamin C and beta-carotene. But what makes cruciferous vegetables special is their content of sulforaphane, a compound that activates your body's natural detoxification systems and may help prevent cancer. Research shows that people who eat the most leafy greens have brain function equivalent to someone 11 years younger. That's not a typo, 11 years of cognitive protection from eating your greens. Next, let's talk about berries. Blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, and raspberries are like nature's multivitamins for longevity. They're loaded with anthocyanins, the compounds that give berries their deep colors and provide powerful anti-inflammatory effects. Studies show that people who eat berries regularly have slower rates of cognitive decline and better heart health. In fact, eating just 1 cup of berries per week has been associated with a 2.5-year delay in cognitive aging. Nuts are longevity powerhouses. Walnuts, almonds, pistachios, they're all associated with longer lifespans. The Adventists in Loma Linda, one of our blue zones, eat nuts 5 times per week and live significantly longer than the average American. Nuts provide healthy fats, protein, fiber, and important minerals like magnesium. They help reduce inflammation, support heart health, and may even protect against certain cancers. Just 1 ounce, about a small handful, 5 times per week can add years to your life. If you eat fish, fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, and anchovies are longevity superstars. They're rich in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA, which are crucial for brain health and reducing inflammation. The Mediterranean populations that live longest consume fish regularly, and research consistently shows that higher omega-3 levels in the blood are associated with longer lifespans and better aging. Now let's zoom out and talk about the bigger picture: plant-forward eating. You've probably heard the term plant-based, but for longevity, we're really talking about making plants the star of your plate, while potentially including some animal products. If I had to pick one food group that's most associated with longevity, it would be legumes. Beans, lentils, chickpeas and peas. In every blue zone, legumes are a dietary staple. The longest living people eat about a cup of beans per day. Beans are nutritional powerhouses. They're high in protein, fibre, folate and resistant starch, a type of carbohydrate that feeds beneficial gut bacteria. They help stabilize blood sugar, reduce cholesterol and support healthy weight management. What's amazing is that adding just half a cup of legumes to your daily diet has been associated with an 8% reduction in mortality risk. That's huge for such a simple change. Let's clear up some confusion about carbohydrates. The longest living populations do eat carbs, but they're eating the right kinds. We're talking about whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, oats and barley, not refined flours and sugars. They help maintain stable blood sugar levels and feed beneficial gut bacteria. The key is choosing grains that are minimally processed and eating them in reasonable portions. Now let's talk about the foods that might be working against your longevity goals. This isn't about perfection, it's about awareness and making better choices most of the time. The biggest dietary threat to longevity is ultra-processed foods. These are products that bear little resemblance to their original ingredients. Think packaged snacks, sugary cereals, frozen meals and fast food. Research shows that for every 10% increase in ultra-processed food consumption, there's a 14% higher risk of early death. These foods are typically high in added sugars, unhealthy fats, sodium and chemical additives, while being low in nutrients and fibre. Added sugars and refined carbohydrates cause rapid spikes in blood glucose and insulin levels. Over time, this can lead to insulin resistance, inflammation, and accelerated aging at the cellular level. This doesn't mean you can never have dessert, but making it a regular part of your diet isn't compatible with optimal longevity. The World Health Organization recommends limiting added sugars to less than 10% of total calories, ideally less than 5%. The research on processed meats like bacon, sausage and deli meats is pretty clear. They're associated with increased risk of cancer and cardiovascular disease. The compounds used in processing, like nitrates and the high sodium content, are particularly problematic. Red meat is more controversial, but the longest living populations eat it sparingly, maybe a few times per month rather than daily. When they do eat meat, it's typically high quality, grass-fed and consumed in smaller portions alongside lots of vegetables. It's not just what you eat, but when and how you eat that matters for longevity. Let's explore some key principles. One pattern we see in long-lived populations is natural fasting periods. They often eat their largest meal earlier in the day and have longer periods between meals. This aligns with emerging research on circadian biology and metabolism. Time-restricted eating, consuming all your food within an 8-12 hour window, may help optimize insulin sensitivity, promote cellular repair processes, and support healthy weight management. Many people find success with eating between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., for example. The Mediterranean pattern offers a great template: a moderate breakfast, a substantial lunch, and a lighter dinner. This front-loads calories when your metabolism is most active and gives your body time to process food before sleep. They also emphasize eating slowly with others and savoring their food. This isn't just pleasant, it actually supports better digestion and helps prevent overeating. Don't forget about what you drink. The longest living people typically drink plenty of water, moderate amounts of tea or coffee, and if they drink alcohol, it's usually small amounts of red wine with meals. Green tea deserves special mention. It's rich in catechins, particularly EGCG, which have powerful anti-aging properties. The Okinawans drink several cups of green tea daily. So how do you actually implement this knowledge? Let me give you some practical strategies that won't overwhelm your life. For each meal, Visualize your plate divided into sections. Half should be vegetables and fruits, 1/4 should be whole grains or starchy vegetables, and 1/4 should be lean protein, whether that's legumes, fish, poultry, or plant-based proteins. Add a serving of healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or nuts, and you've got a longevity-supporting meal template. Don't try to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Research shows that gradual changes are more likely to stick. Maybe start by adding a serving of berries to your breakfast, or replacing one meat meal per week with a bean-based dish. Hone back on addition before subtraction. Add more vegetables, fruits, and whole foods before worrying too much about cutting things out. Often the good stuff naturally crowds out the less healthy options. Having longevity-supporting foods available makes healthy choices easier. Batch cook some beans and grains on Sunday, wash and prep your vegetables, and keep healthy snacks like nuts visible and accessible. When unhealthy options require more effort than healthy ones, you're setting yourself up for success. Let's wrap this up with the key takeaways. The foods that support longevity aren't exotic or expensive. They're largely the same foods humans have been eating for thousands of years before processed foods took over. Consider foods that eating plenty of vegetables, especially leafy greens and cruciferous varieties. Include berries and other colourful fruits. Make legumes a regular part of your diet. They might be the single most important longevity food. Choose whole grains over refined ones. Include healthy fats from nuts and olive oil. And if you eat fish, emphasize fatty varieties rich in omega-3s. Limit ultra-processed foods, excessive sugar, and processed meats. Practice some form of portion control. Remember hara hachi, and consider eating within a more restricted time window. But here's the most important point. Longevity isn't just about the number of years you live. It's about maintaining your health, energy, and vitality throughout those years. The foods we've discovered today doesn't just help you live longer, they help you live better. If you find this video interesting, please subscribe for more helpful videos.